So today we're going to discuss diamond drill hole import. So I brought in one level from one of the mine sites, and now I want to bring in their diamond drill hole database. So on the geology toolbar, you'll see that there's a little button here. The geology toolbar is accessed from the Amine toolbar. So this is the Amine toolbar here, and at the end of it is geology. Click on that, it opens this toolbar. And on that toolbar, the third button from the left is drill hole import. So drill holes can be imported in numerous ways into Amine. The easiest way is just to bring in all, import all, which brings in all the drill holes that are showing in this region in this list. Now this list is determined by the Corelog drill hole database as well as this region. So that'll be covered in another lesson. So right now, I can just hit import. Now, what are the holes going to look like? So let's bring in one hole. So I'm just going to grab a hole here. Just going to go down. It's this hole here. So we're just going to import it. Okay, so the hole's been imported somewhere. You can see it's been imported right here. And you can see its position. So if I come over here on the side, you can see where the hole is brought in. You notice on the side I can't see the text, but that's because the text by definition is two-dimensional. If I click on this side and just hit refresh, what will happen is it will then flip the text so I can see it on this viewport. So how is the color determined? How is everything determined on what the drill hole looks like? That's determined by your profile. If I change my profile, let's say to driving, and I just say refresh, you see the hole changes its look based on the profile. So I can change my profile at any time and refresh and display different information, different attributes. So if I want to bring in information based on grade, for instance, not much there. So let's go back to our default profile. So you can make as many profiles as you like. Here's one assay. Let's see what that looks like. So here's the assay profile for that drill hole. I can also turn on my line weight, so determine if the hole is heavy or if there's something I want to emphasize. So on the left side would be my rock codes. On the right side, in this case, are my assays. I'm not sure, probably copper, lead, zinc, maybe not, something in front, but let's find out. So I'm going to edit. So edit the assay profile that I'm looking at. So this has copper, zinc, silver, lead, and a rock type. Alright, so the trace is color coded based on the geology rock type. I'm just going to make it a little heavier here. Let's just do this so I can really see it. Close it and then just refresh. And now you can see the hole now jumps out a little more. The line is a little heavier. Let's go back and look at that. So I'm using a color profile for my drill trace called litho. Let's look at litho. So if I scroll down to where litho is, so litho has a color profile. So if its rock code is 7, it's black. If it's AD1, it's green. AD2 is sort of a off green. 83 is a cyan. 84 is a blue, and so on. So these are all entered into the system. Important ones, of course, are the reds. Those are our mineralization in this case. Now I've got a CB. Let's see what CB. So CB is color 40. You can see this is the CB color here. Okay, now I can change the drill trace to any table that I want in my database. So let's say I wanted to do assay, or if I wanted to do, so let's say assay, and I wanted it to be based on, let's say, my copper, and then switch my litho color here to copper. right? And now close that, refresh. So now what's happened is it's now color-coded based on the copper grade, the drill trace itself. Forget about the numbers for now, we're just talking about the trace. So the trace says, well, there's no copper grade, or the copper grade is beyond, below what I want. So let me just check here. Right side. So copper is in the first position. Now you can see the first position has dashes. So the dashes indicate that the grade, it was assayed, but the grade was so low that it's below my cutoff. My cutoff in this case, let's assume it's using copper, so it's using the copper color trace. So anything below 1.5 is not going to show up. It shows up as a dash, meaning it's been assayed but does not meet our cutoff criteria. So it puts a dash in to indicate that it was assayed, but it's insignificant amount. So this drill hole doesn't have a whole lot of data. Let's bring in a slightly different drill hole. Let's go down a ways. You know what? Let's find one in this area. Okay, so import in area, right around that drift right there. So that's the elevation. I want to see 10 meters, 5 above, 5 below, only in my current view, so only what's visible here. Execute. Delete my existing hole. Sure, let's get rid of him. Bring in a different one. All right, so I've got one up here. Got a bunch up here. That should be enough. Let's just stop this. Okay, now come over on this side. If I zoom out, you can see them here. So let's refresh displayed. So this will bring in the entire drill hole, using again the assay profile. So you can see I've got a lot more drill holes than what I previously had, but that's a little more than what I need for this demonstration. So let's just get rid of a few of them. I'm just going to delete some of these here. And what I'm doing is I'm removing from the screen. This has nothing to do with the database itself. The database resides in SQL Server and is independent from the AutoCAD. Okay, so you can see here my copper grade. I've got a 5, a 10, and a 3. So you can see that the drill trace is color-coded based on the copper grade, and it's now gone above that insignificant cutoff. You can see down here the same thing. Let's focus on this drill hole. We've got some nice variety of data here. So it brought in assay. So we can switch back to geology. We're going to go to rock code, type, and we're going to go to litho. Close that and refresh. So you can see how easy it is to quickly change your drill holes to reflect the information that you're interested in. And this data is accessible by all users on the system. They don't have edit rights, but they do have the ability to print out if the hole is publicly available. The administrator has the option of removing it from this list so it won't show up if there's proprietary or confidential information located within it. You can also see the depth down the hole from the collar. So it was collared here. That's 60 meters, 90, 120. Right, so that's set under my hole markers. So I put my name at the bottom of the hole, down here. I've put in a collar and a toe. So the collar and toe marker, the toe is a slash, the collar is a circle. And I'm showing depth every 30 meters. Change that to whatever I want. I could say every 50 meters. Again, come in, refresh displayed. Now I've gone to 50 meters. And the last one is annotation. In annotation of the drill hole, we've got left side and right side. So left side, we're showing our rock type. Again, I can change it to any table I want. It could be RQD values, it could be mineralization, alteration, whatever information you want on the left side. On the right side, same thing. I can change it to any table that's within the database. I can show on the right side, and I can choose what information to show. For instance, if my silver is insignificant or don't have it, or if I'm just gold, if I'm just silver, maybe I'm gold and silver, I can show gold and silver here. Now I'm just going to remove my silver. So that'll be my third record. And I'm just going to refresh. And you can see it's been removed from my list. So that's the way that the user can modify and show exactly the information they want. Now this on the screen, I can take this, I could go to Mine Grid, I can put a grid on it, I can print it, I can cut sections and so on. Once the drill holes are in, you can do anything. The drill holes can also be used by anybody. So if I'm an engineer, I might be interested in RQD, in the rock strength of where I'm drilling through. If I'm a long-term planner, I may want to see where my mineralization is, how many drill holes are put into my stope or into my block model area. A geologist, of course, is going to use those to help build their wireframes and use to determine your block model values when you interpolate, when you're doing your kriging or your inverse distance. These holes are put in to determine that information. So what we've covered today is just the one thing of import, the list of the holes, and then the edit function. So when you have the software go in, you can play with this, you can make your own profiles, bring in your drill holes. You're not affecting the data in any way, you can't hurt anything, so change it, look at the drill holes, look at them in different orientations, so you can see what they look like. Okay, and we'll stop this one for now, and we'll go on to the next lesson. We'll be using our filter command and then import an area.